Barbara Eden's love life has always been a subject of attention. From her relationships with powerful figures such as the former US president to the noisy stories surrounding her 16-year marriage, this TV goddess not only impresses with her acting talent, but also with the dramatic secrets in her private life. Let's explore Barbara Eden's interesting love journey and little-known hidden corners. Before we dive deeper, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Grab yourself a warm drink, maybe a cup of tea or just water, and sit back as we begin this journey together. In 1965, Barbara was 34 years old, an age when many Hollywood actresses at that time might have seen their careers slowly fade away. However, fate brought her to the role of a lifetime. At that time, Sidney Sheldon, a famous writer and producer, was having difficulty finding the right face for the lead role in the sitcom I Dream of Jeannie. A series of actresses auditioned, but none could convince him. One day, Sidney heard about Barbara Eden, an actress with a sweet beauty and delicate acting talent, and decided to invite her to audition. Barbara did not disappoint. With her graceful acting and natural charm, she perfectly transformed into Jeannie, the mischievous and attractive Jeannie. A Dream of Jeannie quickly became one of the most beloved sitcoms of all time. Barbara in her pink crop top and high-waisted Middle Eastern pants became a sex symbol and the dream woman of many audiences. Her image was plastered across magazines, billboards, and the small screen. Soon, she attracted the attention of some of the most powerful men in America, which also brought pressures to Barbara's life that she could not have imagined. Before becoming a big star, Barbara was married to Michael Ansara, a talented Hollywood actor. The couple met in 1958 while filming Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Michael was a handsome, strong man who had appeared in many famous television series such as Kane, Buck Rogers, and Star Trek. Barbara was quickly attracted to his maturity and masculinity. The two married, and in 1965, they welcomed their first son, Matthew, Barbara's only child. The early years of Barbara and Michael's marriage were filled with happiness. They built a home together and went through many challenges together. However, things began to change after the resounding success of I Dream of Jeannie. The busy work schedule, the pressure of public attention, and personal events gradually caused a rift in their relationship. In 1971, Barbara became pregnant with her second child. However, tragedy struck when she suffered a miscarriage, leaving a deep emotional wound. Barbara fell into depression, and Michael also had difficulty supporting his wife. The marriage, already under a lot of pressure, became even more strained. After 16 years together, the couple decided to divorce in 1974. Although Barbara once thought it was the right decision, she later admitted that breaking up with Michael was one of the biggest mistakes of her life. When Michael died in 2013, Barbara emotionally shared that he was her true love. The tragedy did not stop there. One of the biggest wounds in Barbara Eden's life was the death of her son, Matthew. Matthew, Barbara's only child, grew up in the love of his mother and became the centre of her life. But like many other young people in Hollywood, Matthew could not avoid being drawn into the temptations of drugs. In 2001, at the age of 35, Matthew died of a drug overdose. His passing left a void in Barbara's heart that could never be filled. Matthew was the only light in my life. She once said, "There is not a day that goes by that I don't think of him." Although Barbara tried to move on, the pain of losing her son was something she could never fully overcome. If you're watching, you may be wondering why the success of I Dream of Jeannie was the beginning of the end of her 16-year marriage. This will become clear in the next video. But before we get there, you may be interested to know that, in addition to her marriage, Barbara had many romantic relationships with powerful men in the country, especially during her prime years. One of those men was none other than the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. Despite being married, Elvis was known for his prolific love life and dated some of the most beautiful women in the entertainment industry, including Nancy Sinatra, Barbara Lee, Juliette Preux, Anne Margaret, and of course, Barbara Eden. In 1960, before filming I Dream of Jeannie, Barbara and Elvis worked together on the film Flaming Star. At that time, Elvis was famous all over the world, not only for his music, but also for his rich love life. The media quickly speculated whether Barbara would become another name in the long list of beauties who had been associated with Elvis. However, Barbara always denied having a romantic relationship with the King of Rock. She affirmed that Elvis was a true gentleman during their time together. According to Barbara, Elvis once shared with her his dissatisfaction with the tight control of manager Colonel Tom Parker and the terrible pressure from fame. Although impressed by Elvis's courtesy and talent, Barbara admitted that she did not want to get involved in the complicated life he was facing. However, one of the most notable characters in Barbara's life was Larry Hagman, her co-star in I Dream of Jeannie. In the film, Larry played the charming Captain Tony Nelson, who captivated audiences with his humorous love story with Jeannie. But in real life, Larry was a hard problem. Barbara and Larry had a special relationship that she herself admitted was full of love. But love was sometimes not enough to overcome real-life difficulties. Larry was a great friend, but he also had complicated personal problems. On set, Larry often gave everyone a headache with his weird antics. He smoked marijuana in the dressing room, got angry about the quality of the script, and even chased a group of nuns with an axe in his hand, an action that left the whole crew speechless. Barbara, with her courtesy and professionalism, handled everything gracefully. But maintaining a relationship with Larry, whether it was friendship or something deeper, was clearly not an option. However, she cherished her memories of Larry and saw him as an important part of her life, even if it was a chaotic one. As one of the most glamorous icons of the 1960 and 1970, Barbara had no shortage of admirers, including such celebrities as Clint Eastwood, John F. Kennedy, and Tom Jones. Tom Jones, a Welsh singer with a powerful voice and confident demeanour, was quickly attracted to Barbara when she came to England to appear on his television show. Barbara said that when she told him she was married, Tom replied boldly, "I don't care." Tom's confidence left Barbara both confused and a little amused. Still, she remained faithful and refused the invitation, although it left her feeling both proud and embarrassed. As for JFK, the famous president, things were more subtle. During one meeting, he secretly slipped his private phone number into the pocket of Barbara's fur coat. She never called him, though Barbara later admitted that she regretted not having tried to initiate a conversation. Perhaps remaining mysterious was also her way of maintaining her elegant image. Barbara has been through 3 marriages, each with its own unique story. Her first marriage to Hollywood, heartthrob Michael Ansara, produced a son, Matthew. Although the couple had their happy moments, the marriage ended after more than a decade, leaving Barbara heartbroken but determined to move on. After her divorce from Michael, Barbara surprised the public by marrying Charles Ferger, a businessman outside the entertainment industry. This was perhaps a bold move, as Charles was not only far removed from the Hollywood world Barbara was familiar with, but also took her to Chicago to build a new life. However, this peaceful dream did not last long. Charles quickly fell into bad habits such as alcohol and cocaine abuse, making family life unbearable. Barbara returned to Hollywood and ended the marriage after 5 years, taking with her a valuable lesson in choosing a spouse. But, as they say, the third time is the charm, and Barbara found true love with John the Colts. This time she entered the marriage with a mature heart and many lessons from past mistakes. This was the turning point that helped her find stability in her personal life. Barbara Eden is now 90 years old, but still charming and full of life. Her current life not only revolves around her career, but is also decorated by a happy and lasting marriage with John Wisey Colts, an architect, structural engineer, and real estate developer. The two have spent more than 32 meaningful years together, becoming one of the most admired couples in the entertainment industry. Barbara shared that the foundation for the sustainability of their relationship was their close friendship before becoming husband and wife. She always tries to understand and see things from her husband's perspective to maintain harmony and avoid unnecessary conflicts. After many emotional upheavals in the past, Barbara feels lucky to have found a truly compatible partner. Although they do not have children together, both have made up for it with their love for pets, creating a small but warm family. A special point in their relationship is privacy. Staying away from the media spotlight, has allowed the couple to enjoy a happy and private life. Barbara shared that her simple and harmonious life with John has brought her a sense of peace, something she had previously found difficult to find in other relationships. Not only happy in her personal life, Barbara still maintains her acting and singing career, which has lasted for more than 70 years. She believes that work is an indispensable part that helps her maintain her health, youth, and fresh spirit. Although time has passed, Barbara's charm and talent have not faded. From the days when she wore the crop top of the fairy Jeannie, she has always been proud of her image, emphasizing that the role is an important part of her life. "I am a fairy, and my job is to please my master. I think I do that very well," Barbara once joked. For Barbara Eden, life is not only the halo from the peak years of her career, but also the simple joys with her ideal husband. She still maintains an optimistic and open attitude when talking about past love stories, and sees everything as a part of helping her grow up. The world has changed a lot since I Dream of Jeannie aired, but Barbara remains a symbol of elegance, joy of life, and timeless appeal. Thanks for watching. If you found this video worth your time, show it by liking it now. And if you haven't subscribed yet, here's your chance to join the ranks of people who love fun and informative content. We have so much more to share.